Welcome to the 8th grade Math Homework Helper Series. Tonight's homework is PT-5, Pythagorean Theorem with more word problems. We'll start with question number 5. It says Christine is fishing. She rested her pole on a stick in the ground. The tip of the fishing pole is 6 feet above the surface of the water. It is directly above the point where the land meets the water. There is 10 feet of fishing line between the tip of the pole and the surface of the water. How far from the edge of the water does the fishing line enter the water? So if we take a look at the diagram we have here, we see the fishing pole propped on the stick. We can see the fishing pole tip is here, the line goes out into the water here, and you can see between where the line goes out and the dotted lines here, we have a right triangle. So let's take that right triangle and pull it over here and put the numbers where they need to go. So the first thing we have is that the tip of the fishing pole is 6 feet above the surface of the water. So that would be this side over here. Here's the tip of the fishing pole, there's the surface of the water. So 6 feet is describing that side of the triangle. Then we have there is 10 feet of fishing line between the tip of the pole and the surface of the water. Well, this represents the fishing line. So that means we have 10 feet over here. So if you notice that the right angle is here, and the right angle would be pointing towards the hypotenuse, that means that the 10 feet is the hypotenuse and 6 feet is one of the legs, and the unknown amount is another one of the legs. And now that we know that, we can set up Pythagorean theorem. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Plug in the numbers. 6 feet is one of our legs, so we put that for a. B we don't know. 10 is the length of the hypotenuse, and so we set it up as c for 10 squared. Then we solve algebraically. 6 squared is 36, 10 squared is 100. If we subtract 36 from both sides, we get b squared equals 64. We then find the square root of each, and that's going to give us b equals 8. So the missing side is 8, and because it's a word problem, we need to answer it in a sentence. The fishing line enters the water 8 feet from shore. Now we'll take a look at question 6. Tom built a ramp so that he could drive his motorcycle into the bed of his truck. The tailgate of his truck is 3 feet from the ground. He made the ramp 5 feet long so it will fit into the bed of his truck. What is the distance from the bottom of the ramp to the point on the ground directly under the edge of the tailgate? Again, you can see we have a triangle right here. I'll highlight it and then move it over here for us to work with. So the first measurement we have is that the tailgate of the truck is 3 feet from the ground. That would be this measurement right here. So we'll call that 3 feet. And the ramp is 5 feet long. So that would be this right here because this is the ramp. So once again we have the hypotenuse in one leg and we're looking for the other leg. So we plug them in. We have 3 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. So that's 9 plus x squared equals 25. We subtract 9 from each side. We have x squared equals 16. If we get the square root of 16, we get x equals 4. So this is the classic 3, 4, 5 triangle. And if we put it into the sentence, we see the distance is 4 feet from the ramp to the ground beneath the tailgate. Last question we're going to take a look at is number 7. An isosceles right triangle has an hypotenuse length of 10 yards. Find the length of the other sides of the triangle. Find your answer to the nearest tenths. So I have this diagram set up. I have 10 yards for the hypotenuse, and we don't know the legs, so I have x yards. I can say that these are x yards because it's an isosceles triangle, which means that 2 of the sides are the same length. The hypotenuse has to be the longest, so that means the 2 legs have to be the same size. So we plug these in. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We have x squared plus x squared equals 10 squared. We can combine like terms. So we get 2x squared equals 100. If we divide by 2 on each side, that gets us x squared equals 50. And then we do the square root of each, and that's going to get us x equals, and this is a full calculator display, 7.0710678812. If I round that to the nearest tenths, I get 7.1 yards, and putting it into a sentence, the length of the other two sides are 7.1 yards. Please use the work that was done for you tonight to help you to solve any additional problems that are on your homework. And remember, the key to success in math is not only working hard, but working smart.